Wrexham have their first points on the board in the EFL Championship, but depends how you look at life and football. Was that a half glass full, half glass empty? Let me know your thoughts. But this is my match reaction to Wrexham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2. But before we go any further, please make sure you are smashing the like on this video. Let's get 50 likes for Wrexham getting points on the board. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and I'd love to achieve that with your help. And finally, get in the comment section your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions around today's performance, result, and all things Wrexham. Just a side note, I'm sat here against my wall because I am moving home. The moving date is on Monday, so I am literally furnitureless. I basically have just got my laptop and camera, and so the Wi-Fi as well is a bit in and out. So hopefully everything is all good. But thank you to everyone who's supporting. I cannot wait to show you my new setup that we're going to have for where we'll be recording all the content for all things Wrexham. But with enough of that, let's get into the game. Wrexham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2. A Kiefer Moore brace, which is absolutely fantastic. He's finally off the mark. He's on the score sheet, and he has elevated himself into being one of the most key and important players for this Wrexham season ahead. Everything that is going to come good through Wrexham will be through Kiefer Moore and O'Brien. I'll say this week in, week out. And I do think that if Windass was available again today, that would have added to it. But he was there with some smart clinical finishing, wanting it more, quicker in and around the box. But at the other end of the pitch, there are still those defensive fragility. There's still those defensive areas of weakness from wide areas, stopping crosses, stopping the players coming in and encroaching us like that. And also for me, Brunt and Cleworth are just not at the level they need to be right now. They're backing off play. They're not engaging physically. Their decision making seems off, and their awareness of what's around them is absolutely crazy. I also think we look a little slow across the box as well. So the signing of Callum Doyle from Manchester City is going to be someone who's going to definitely bolster that defence and someone I see starting the next game, because the manner in which we are conceding goals has to be addressed and ironed out. Now, when I talk about half glass full, half glass empty, you can look at this story today in a couple of ways. Number one, Wrexham blow a 2-0 lead. That is a headline that will be thrown around, blowing a lead, and people want to mock that. 3 points were after the taking. It wasn't to be. You could go back to the first game of the season against Southampton. Wrexham blow a 1-goal lead in the dying embers. A little bit of a theme coming in, and it's getting quite gutting. The other part of it is Wrexham get their first point on the board. That's a positive first step forward. Let's now generate more. And the final one you could look at it is, if it wasn't for that Danny Ward save right at the death, where they had a one-on-one, it could have been a loss again today. That's how crazy this game is. Wrexham go one end, there's a penalty shout for Smith. You come the other end, and honestly, Danny Ward there redeeming himself. That's what goalkeepers, they make saves in the big moments. People are still going to sit here and question, why is Danny Ward starting? Bring back Arthur and go. I'd love to know your thoughts on that one as well. Do you want to see Arthur return as the number one, or are you happy with Danny Ward? But I've got to put this on record. If it wasn't for Danny Ward, this could have been a loss again today. How do I see Wrexham right now? They're in a really difficult position, because what is happening is they are relying on their defensive attributes, and they are relying on trying to hold a lead. And it's not working. If you look at the momentum of today's game, I actually think Sheffield Wednesday started the better. They looked up for it. Their away fans, by the way, the Sheffield Wednesday away fans, incredible support. But the game sort of changed in Wrexham's favour when they scored the first and second, and those quick goals from Kiefer Moore sort of set Wrexham up. And finally from there, after getting the 2-goal lead, I thought Wrexham actually started dominating more, started taking control of the game, started believing in themselves. And I was like, okay, this is what we need to be. This is what we need to see. And guess what? They even then took that performance at the end of the first half and translated it into the second half, with, again, a really strong first 10, 15 minutes of absolute dominance, looking to get that third and killing the game. And then from 60 minutes to about the 81st, 82nd, it was all Sheffield Wednesday. It was all Sheffield Wednesday, and that is, again, a problem. Parky and Wrexham decided to sit deep, to sit back, to try and protect it. And that second half sort of shows you it. No shots on target again from Wrexham in the second half. For all that beautiful play in the first half, creating chances, the more expected goals, the more, and you can see it. It's a tale of two halves again. Have a look at this, what I'm going to share on the screen now for you. This is the first half of the game here. This is the first half of the game here. Right there, you can see it. Right there, you can see it in clear and as blue as can be. Wrexham dominating possession, dominating the proceedings, expected goals, total shots on target. And you think, wow, what a half that is. And then it's chalk and cheese to the second. Go to the second half stats, and you can see here Wrexham 0 shots on target, expected goals down. Sheffield Wednesday 15 and 6 on target. It's massive chalk and cheese performance. And I think that is the problem. Wrexham are sitting back too deep. Wrexham are trying to protect the lead. And basically, in a way to bluntly put this, they're not good enough. They're not good enough to do that. So do I think Wrexham had the upper hand after the 2 goals? 100%. I thought this is brilliant. Usually when teams score 2 goals, they sit back. But I don't know what changed after the 60-minute mark. I don't know why the attitude and mindset was to sit back and defend and defend and defend. And you can see from those statistics. So something that really has to be addressed, something that you cannot beat around the bush on. Parky has to get the balance right. You've got the goals. And actually, I want to say this. Goals don't seem to be an issue right now. Goals are ticking over. Goals are coming. We're finding the way to hit the back of the net, but we're not keeping it out the other end. And I think the defence is the problem and reason and issue. We need to build from a strong back line to then go forward. And I think Doyle is going to be absolutely pivotal to this. Once again, I thought Lewis O'Brien, when Wrexham are good, it's all things through him. Dobson, again, obviously, great to see him getting ticking along the minutes. But my biggest query here now is these games where Wrexham losing from winning positions, how is that mentally going to impact the boys? How are Parky and the Wrexham fans and the Wrexham players going to keep going forward? And that is where I'm going to say it now. Wrexham's next game, they must find a win. They must get back to a winning formula, and they must not throw away a lead, because it's going to start become a stigma thing. It's going to become a nerve-wracking thing. It's going to become something that sticks, and you don't want that to stick. But as I said at the start, and I'll end it, you can look at today's result as a half glass empty type of person or half glass full. I personally am looking at it as half glass full. Could have been a loss today if it wasn't for Danny Ward right at the end. It's disappointing, but it's a point, and points win prizes. Keep generating points and you stay in the division. I'd love to know your thoughts, people. Make sure you smash a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you get in the comment section. I'm out of here. Ta-da!